All right, you're good.
Okay, here we go. So this is training for cutting the pendants for the Midway. So when you first come to the generator, you're going to see here everything is just as if you were to get here. You're going to turn on the laser. You're going to go around and you're going to turn on the power strip here. That's for the ventilation. We're going to go ahead and lift her up. You see, we want to make sure it's nice and clean. There's nothing on there. We're going to grab our wood. We're storing our wood here. This is where we keep our Midway sheets. So we're going to go and put it in there and line it up. And what we've been doing is just kind of flush to the top. Put the magnet down. The magnet holds the wood down so it stays nice and flat while it's getting cut. I just like to grab the edges. We did another job before. Sometimes these magnets will be right here. They're not always inside. Actually, we just finished the job. So what we're going to do now is we're going to Z it out to make sure the focal length is in the right location. So right here on this panel here, you see there's 4 arrows. We're going to go ahead and move it on the X and Y plane to the top left corner over there. That's where the job is going to start. So I'm going to go ahead and put it right here at the top. That looks pretty good. Okay, so that's X and Y. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to then take, this is our Z component right here. I'm going to show you this right here is our Z component. Put it in here. And what you want is it to be perfect. It's a little bit high. So what we're going to do is we're going to look back on this panel and you can see on these buttons here, we're going to push that slow X and Y, fast Z. So I'm going to push up and down until that little plastic piece barely touches. So right now you can see it's swinging. So you can push the Z again to do a slow Z. So I push this one so it goes slower. So you're just going to get perfect until it feels like, okay, now it's the perfect. Okay, so it's not moving. So you can just cut it down. Okay, that's good. So I need to move. Yeah, right there. So that's perfect. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead. That out. Okay, so our document, we're going to think of this as a large wood printer. We've just loaded the paper essentially. Now we're going to go and open up our Illustrator document. There's going to be a file in there that's going to keep track of where we are in the print job. So if you go under Explorer, you're going to check under Desktop, and then under Desktop for Desktop, under PP for Buy a Pendant, and then you're going to scroll to the top to 2015, and then you're going to go to Please Read This. This Please Read This document is actually going to show you how far we got. So over here you can see that we have done 200 and 250. So I'm going to go ahead and put down, we're doing now 251 through 300. I'm just going to put done because in the date so that we know when it was done. So I'm going to go ahead and start this job. And we'll close that up. You could probably do this after the job because, you know, who knows. So you're going to go up to 250 to 299 actually. The document because we just did 200, 250. So open it up. Okay, I'll have all these already prepped for you. All you got to do is open it up and push print, essentially, because I already have all the numbering and stuff taken care of. So if it's not, then you might have to go by hand replace the numbers. But that's what I've been doing. So we're going to go ahead and print it as if you were printing through a printer. This is what happens after you hit print. It goes to the full spectrum engineered driver. You hit print here, and you're going to wait a little bit as it sends it to the laser printer. Don't worry about it if it says not responding. It's a big print job, so you just got to be patient. Gotta wait for a little bit. Okay, so once you're in the full spectrum printer, you're gonna go to vector cut. Actually, it's still rendering right now, so you gotta wait for all those lines to render and cut. Nothing crazy. It's processing. Takes a while, so people can just fast through this part of it. It takes about 10 minutes, you know, from when you get in and you set up the wood, get everything Z'd out, get your document open, get it set to where you want it. About 10 minutes for setup and waiting for your process. So, and then the job itself takes an hour and a half. So we could do about 100 each night that we're doing. An hour and a half for 50. So you just get it out about 100 each night. So the goal is we'll probably shoot for a couple thousand. Kind of like last time. So just be printing up to the end and then alright, almost done. Okay, what's important now is after it's done doing this, I'm going to show you where the power settings are here on the side. And then also there's this button right here with the 4 arrows in the corners. That kind of does an initial print space. We need to make sure it doesn't hit the magnets or goes off the wood, because then, you know, we would be in the wrong location. So that's a very important button that you always have to test first before actually starting the job. Okay, so we're done printing or getting it ready. You might go, there's nothing here. That's because you're under raster engraving. That's not where our stuff is vector. So go ahead and click on vector. You can see all our pendants are ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and click on this job perimeter right there. And that, you have to pay attention when you hit it. Looks like we're good. Close, but good. That's fine. It's well within the parameters, so we're safe. So once that's done, you can go ahead and close because you don't need to adjust the wood anymore. You can go and close that up. Now this is very important. What we have to do is we have to look over here and look at the order. You want the red to be the last, so you'll put that actually as 9, because you want the final cut to be last. The speed is at 100, the power is at 100, that's fine. 1 pass, that's fine. 6 is the little hole, so that can be 8. The speed is 100, power is 100, that's also fine. And then the first thing, so the lowest number, 7, which is fine, you're actually going to do it at a speed of 100, but a power of 0.25, because all we're doing is we're engraving. So that's all you need to do. So everything's 100 except for this one right here, 0.25, but you do need to make sure that the order is right, because otherwise it might fall through while it's cutting. So we've already done the perimeter, have the power settings, have the speed, have the passes in order. Now we go up here to the top, we go and hit the start job. Okay, so it says the laser's not home. That's okay as long as you put the laser in the right starting point and you've run the perimeter. As long as you've run the perimeter correctly, it's not going to go sliding off anywhere because you've already established where the job is going to be set. But otherwise, you would want to run a home. And what that does is you push that little home button here in the top. And this is before you start everything. And it essentially moves that laser all the way to the top right corner, and you have to move it back to your starting point, essentially. So I'm going to go ahead and say ignore and continue. I'm going to hit yes. And it's going to take another 5 minutes to process and do that stuff, and you just let it be. If there is an emergency, let's say it catches fire or something crazy, you push this red button, and the fire extinguishers are over there in the corner. If you've ever used one, it's not too crazy. We're not doing anything wild, and we're just etching, and we're not cutting like paper or anything, so we should be okay. But if there is an emergency, just stop it and push this red button, and turn it off, and we should be good to go. All right, sounds good. Looks like it doesn't say the estimated job yet because it's going to take about 5 minutes to process it. But I think we're good. So you can see down here in the bottom right-hand corner, we've got about 1 hour and 23 minutes. With setup time, about 1 hour and a half. So we should be good to go. About 50 for about an hour. And then if you have any questions, you can call me. My number is 830-2249.